Boom, boom, bam. Welcome back to another edition of the Great Debate Show. I'm your host, JJ, one half of the good guys. And I'm here to recap last night's game four. Last night's game four of the Western Conference Finals between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the OKC Thunder. Well, we said it yesterday as we came in here to talk about the Knicks and the Pacers and everything that had happened over the weekend on a Memorial Day. Go back and check those live streams, those episodes out. They're up. We talked about it and we said that as much as, we were impressed with what we saw with the Timberwolves on Saturday night in game three, we knew that that still was more of a facade than anything else. We knew that, OKC just had a bad game. They're not going to continue to look like that. That's just a one-time thing. We see the Thunder and we see how good they are. And sometimes you just know, look, man, this team is not going to lose 4 games in a series. Just don't see it happening. And it didn't. They won and they went up 3-1 now, and this series is pretty much over. But we'll talk about what happened. Why did the Minnesota Timberwolves lose their game? They only lost by 2. It was a damn good game. I said that this one would be close. I said that game 3 is where the Timberwolves will win. They'll probably blow them out. Everything will look like, well, why haven't they been doing that? Why couldn't they have done that in OKC? These are the things that I talked about. And I said game 4, it will be close. It will look like Minnesota can get the win. People may even think that they will get the win, but they won't. And it'll be close. But they'll lose in a heartbreaker. It'll be a dagger. At some point, the Thunder will make a run. They'll make a play here and there, and it's going to really be a heartbreaker. And that was the dagger in the back of the Timberwolves when SGA started to do what he did in the fourth quarter. The things that he does, how he takes over, how he just controls the game, dominates the mid-range, so perfective. And even after game 4, we can't even complain today about how much he got to the free throw line or how many fouls he got. Most of the fouls were fouls when they did call them. They didn't blow the whistle as much as they do at OKC, but get ready for that tomorrow. They'll be back. The whistles will be blowing, and they'll end that series quickly. It looks like it's going to be the Thunder in 5. It's going to be the Timberwolves. Were good, though, last night. Alexander Walker, Jaden McDaniels, all of these guys that I've talked about, had they just done this a little sooner, this would probably be a tied series. Hell, maybe they'd even be up a game in this series. I'm not sure. But the problem for the Timberwolves are their number 1 and their number 2, who was Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle. They didn't get enough from either. Julius Randle hasn't done much since the first half of game 1. Game 1, first half, 20 points. He was going off. The Thunder did not let that happen again, and it has not. It has been a downhill battle ever since then. And so Anthony Edwards didn't even have a number 2 to rely on to help him out. And, it was Alexander Walker. It was McDaniels. It was, at times, Rudy Gobert. Michael Conley did not get a lot of playing time. I understand why. It's probably Coach Finch doesn't like the matchup with SGA and Conley, or they get the pick, and now he's still undersized and undermatched. But yeah, I'm thinking Conley can knock a shot down, though, man. Anthony Edwards is not knocking a shot down. He just wasn't consistent. And this is what me and Terrence talked about yesterday, my co-host here on the show, when we made our prediction. We both went with OKC to go up 3-1 because we knew that what we saw Saturday night was still just a facade. The real OKC Thunder will stand up when it matters the most, and they didn't want to go back home tied. And they came close. But at times, did it ever feel like it was close as the scoreboard looked? It didn't really feel like it, though. I mean, every time Minnesota got a stop, offensive rebound by OKC. Sometimes multiple occasions in the same possession. They're just repeatedly, they would get second and third chance opportunities to score in that one possession, and they would do it so many times. When Minnesota misses a shot, good luck. They're not rebounding it, not hardly, and they're gone. There were times where he couldn't play Rudy Gobert like he probably would like to. They tried some small ball, but look, man, honestly, I'm gonna tell you why the Timberwolves got here. They're a good team, but they're not quite ready yet. This team is not better than OKC. OKC is not only a good defensive team, they're historically a good defensive team. You know? And we got to give praises to Lou Dort for what he did to Anthony Edwards and anybody else that was in front of him, but mainly Edwards. They made it their business to take him out of the game, out of the series. He would not score 30-plus points on them in back-to-back games. Julius Randle hadn't done anything since game 1, first half. So they took out the number 1 and the number 2. Those are the stars for the Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards is the star, and Julius Randle is the next star. And neither one of them were consistent in this series, and they were not good enough. Even when they were good, they were not good enough. So when you're telling me that Alexander Walker is going to have 30 points or close to it, and Jaden McDaniels is going to, have a good game, and they're hitting the threes, they're making the defensive stops, they're forcing the turnovers, they're running in transition, fast break points. They're doing all of this. And those guys are phenomenal, man. I mean, so underrated. I don't even know if those guys were drafted or where they were drafted at. But give those guys credit. McDaniels is a good 6'10". So when he goes with his arms up, man, he's there. He's 7 feet. And then you got Alexander Walker, the cousin of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They had their battles, but Shai still won them all. And we can't really complain about the flopping or the refs in this one because he just dominated. He just got to his spot, whether it would be a fadeaway, whether it would be, him running to the rim but stop it on a dime, pull up J, nothing but net. He's got the mid-range down pat. There's no reason to hate on him outside of the free throws. And again, he knows how to get to the free throw line also. But we can't hate on him. We complain so much about how these guys in the league live for the three. Live and die by the three. Shai doesn't. But he can shoot the three. Who does that remind you of? I knew a guy that played, and I'm not making comparisons. I'm just saying in this particular moment, if we complain about players who live and die by the three, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander doesn't do that. He takes it when needed. If you give it to him, he's going to take it. And he can knock it down right in your grill. Dead in your eyes. But this guy right here in this picture, if you're watching me on the live stream, I'm YouTube Live right now. Weekdays, noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, 9 a.m. Pacific. I'm right here weekdays, the Great Debate Show. Anybody that wants to debate with me about anything, to be honest with you, doesn't have to be all sports. We're doing Canelo Crawford this week. We're doing 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. Which decade was the best as far as music, movies, TV sitcoms, everything, sports, everything. Anything involving entertainment and sports, which decade was the best? Which had a better of our, I'm debating all of that too. I'm doing that tomorrow. So we debate it all. But I don't think there's a great debate here when we talk about Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle needing to be more consistent. And this is where I have to listen to my co-host a little bit more, who's a Knicks fan, and has said that I don't trust Julius Randle. And I'm like, well, he's balling though. Like he's literally the reason why they've kind of won some of these games in Golden State. When Anthony Edwards kind of struggled, he had a good series in LA against the Lakers. He dominated Draymond. But man, give it up to Havenstein because he did a great job. I thought he would have killed Chet Holmgren because as tall as he is, he's just too thin. But shout out to the coach. I can't even think of OKC's head coach's name right now, but he's good. And I thought he outcoached Finch for the most of this series. But mainly there was just nothing Finch and the Timberwolves could do. They're not the better team. This is the best defensive team in the league, and they're historically one of the better defensive teams of all time if you look at it. Even the way they play the game today. They play it clean. They don't chirp. They're not arrogant. They're very humble. They do everything together. I love the camaraderie. They're like a nice brotherhood. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander didn't even accept the MVP in an interview with somebody without his teammates beside him. He wanted to let it be known that I don't get this award if it's not for my peers. Last night you saw him again talking. to the media right after the game, on the court, sideline. Hey, him and his guys right there by his side, man. If you're looking for a new team to hate on, a new dynasty to hate on, this is the team, the OKC Thunder. And I'm not saying there'll really be a dynasty, but what are some of the things that your team needs to do to compete with that team next season? You know, what do you need to do to match their depth, match their size, their physicality, the way they play defense? Who can break Lou Dort's ankles? Who can put him on skates? Anthony Edwards couldn't do it. Ja couldn't do it. We got swept. And give credit to the Denver Nuggets. I know they're not the defending champs anymore. I know the Celtics took their crown away last year. But the Denver Nuggets gave the OKC Thunder the most competition. They're not going in this is not going 7 games. They swept my Grizzlies in 4. They're going to beat the Wolves in 5. The Nuggets are the only ones who really came out fighting and swinging, and that's a team that played with a 6-man rotation. So I heard some people asking the question, if the OKC Thunder, if it took them 7 games to beat a team like the Denver Nuggets who played 5 men really, and they didn't even really have 5 serviceable players, how can they beat a team that has 8? That can play 8 deep like Minnesota. Well, they just showed you how. And they beat them. And I mean, as close as that score was, when they kept hanging in there, they'd get down 7 or 8 or 9 or 11, and they cut it back to 6. They cut it back to 3. And then Shea would come right back and hit a 3 or hit a 2 or and 1 and get to the rim. And now it's back up to 7, back up to 8. They just kept trading buckets, and it wasn't enough stops. You can't beat OKC 128 to 126. They lost 128, 126. You either beat them the way you did in game 3, which was by 42, or you have to beat them where they barely broke 100. You have to beat them like 102 to 94, 98 to 85. That's how you have to beat OKC. You know, you got a chance if you can do that, but even then, it's in their favor to win, even if we're not scoring a lot of points, because they're going to play defense regardless if they're hitting their shots or not. But as I was telling my daughter last night, because we watched the game together, she's a huge Ant fan, and so am I. But I picked OKC to win the West when the season started, before the season started. And I stand correct. They're 1 win away from being in the NBA Finals, meaning they will win the West. And I got the East wrong, you know, going with Boston, but who didn't pick Boston? Man, I got hidden vision in the building saying Knicks in 6. That sounds good. That sounds good. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Knicks tied the series up tonight. I wouldn't. But they probably won't. Look for the Pacers to respond tonight the same way OKC responded last night. Oh, you think you just going to come in this bitch and tie the series up, huh? Now, the Pacers, they've got more things to look at. They've got a whole nother perspective. They're coming into their hometown in Indiana. You think you just going to come in here and tie the series up? And we got to go back to the Garden? I don't know. It could happen, but I don't know if you're a Knicks fan, you shouldn't like your chances going back to Madison Square Garden, even if the series is tied, because you've lost like 5 games at home already. Much better on the road. I'll give them a chance because they're on the road. When they get back home, I ain't really giving them much of a chance. I'm going to talk about them in a minute, but back to Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards has to be more consistent. As much as I like him and as much as I'm a fan, you're not going to get a biased opinion or a biased statement from me right now. Anthony Edwards has to be better. And I don't like how he did not own or take accountability to his struggles in this series. He didn't play that good against Golden State, but he finally started to get it coming along. He and the rest of the Timberwolves have not looked great since the first series when they beat the Lakers in 5. And then they beat the Warriors in 5 as well, but Steph got hurt, so they're already going to put a little red asterisk by that series anyway, Ant. And that's why you needed to beat this team. But again, I'm not trying to, really just come down too hard on Ant, because he did at times make the right plays. He did have to give the ball up when they were forcing him to do so, but there were also times where he turned the ball over because he was trying to do too much. They've got the paint clogged up. You can't go in there. If you take 7, 8 threes and you only knock down one of them, you struggle. And I don't like how he didn't own accountability to that. You have to do that. Grow up, Ant. I know you're only 23, but you got to do better than that. Own it. Say that you were bad. You got to be better. Be a leader on that team and look in the mirror. And then maybe you would have made everybody else better. But shout out to Alexander Walker. I've been looking for him to have a game like that for a minute. Finally, he did. The past 2 games. And McDaniels. I like those 2 guys. Very underrated on the wing, 3-and-D guys. And they really do help Ant out a lot. And they help Ant and Julius Randle out a lot. But if you look at the score chart, and you tell me that Julius Randle only had, I don't even think he had double-digit points. It was bad. Field percentage, bad. Anthony Edwards, not too good either. And Anthony Edwards only took 2 shots in the first half. I knew then this game is over. Even though it was only like an 8-point lead at halftime, they were doing the best they could to avoid the knockout punch. They did all they could to avoid the bullets that come in flurries when OKC just starts shooting and blocking and stealing and running in transition and just getting back the fast break points and all of that. But if you look at it, all that stuff was kind of even. Last night it was, but the problem is the Wolves just don't do that enough, and they didn't do it enough in the series. Ant did not give up the ball when he needed to. Just didn't do a good job. And he needs to be more consistent. So does Randle. And this is what the Knicks fan, my co-host Terrence, was telling me, why he didn't trust Julius Randle, going all the way down this road to the NBA Finals. But again, I'm going to say this one more time. Anthony Edwards, even though he does need to be better, he needs to be more consistent, and he needs to show accountability. This was just like Jordan playing against the Pistons in 88, 89. This is what this is. That team was just better. And they're just way too good, way too talented, way too tough. And there's just not enough players on Anthony Edwards' team that can help him out and bail him out. Do you think they would have continued to play Ant the way they played him, denying him the ball, forcing him to give it up, or clog the paint so he can't come in there and get those layups? He got a few of them, and that was a majority of his buckets. Not a lot of outside stuff, and I didn't see that at all this series enough. Last series either, in the semifinal round against the Warriors either, to be honest with you. So, man, when I look at this series, I say OKC Thunder were like the Detroit Pistons. They were way too much for Ant in his defense. But to be critical of Ant and Randle, they got to be better. They just have to be better. You can't miss all those shots. You can't have a game where you say you didn't take enough shots. Well, find a way to take more. I don't know. But if more guys knock their shots down consistently, and they shot better at home than they did on the road, but if DiVincenzo didn't wait so late to start knocking down corner threes, if Alexander Walker didn't wait till now to start showing out, maybe this series would be a lot better, a lot tighter, a lot closer. But they continued to play Ant the way they played him because they took their chances. They would rather take their chances on you all taking those threes in the corner when he finds you, if he decides to hit you, because sometimes he didn't, sometimes he did. But they didn't knock it down consistently enough, especially the first 2 games. And if they'd done that more, they would have had to come off of that. They would have had to just play Ant one-on-one. Give credit to Dort. He did a great job on Ant. Give credit to Havenstein. He did a great job on Randle. And again, you've got Shet also, who can knock down a 3, who can come off the bench, who can set the screens, who can roll. I mean, they play defense. They defend the rim well. It was hard. It was a struggle to get the points and get the buckets that they wanted. They couldn't do it. This is a historically great defense, y'all. I'm telling you. OKC is winning the championship. There's nothing that you can tell me the Knicks can do to beat them. I don't see it. If the Knicks were to win the championship, if they were to come back and beat the Pacers and beat OKC in the finals, it's fake. There's no way they can do this. I just don't see it. The Pacers, on the other hand, That's another story. I still wouldn't put my money on the Pacers beating the Thunder either, but the Pacers are another good young team. And as I've said before, those two teams are the EST in the NBA. EST is something that a woman wrestler named, a very good woman wrestler named Bianca Belair in the WWE, that's her gimmick. She is called the EST. She's the best. She's the fastest. She's the quickest. She's the toughest. She's the roughest. She's the smartest. She's the whatever EST at the end of it. That's what you get when you get the Thunder and the Pacers. They're the youngest. They're the quickest. They're the deepest. They're the biggest. All that EST stuff. And we would actually see a great finals, I think, if you got those two teams full of youth that can run the floor and run you out of the gym, can shoot the open shots. They've got a few streaky shooters. They both got great point guards in Halliburton and SGA and MVP. Miles Turner, a little underrated. Can he guard Cat when Cat plays like Cat should play? No, not really. But Cat don't always play like Cat should play. And Miles Turner is about to be in the finals more than likely. Now, I don't know how he fares up against a Holmgren or a Havenstein, but it'll be interesting to see. They've got the guards and the people in the backcourt that can make some things happen. I'd give them a better shot probably than the Knicks, just because of how they can go down to the bottom of their bench, to the end of their bench, and play 10 or 11, just like the Thunder can do. That's going to be a good series. I think that's what we're going to get. Hidden vision. Could you explain why you think the Knicks are still going to win in 6? I would love to hear it. And it would be a great story if somebody could come back from 0-2 and win 4 straight and win in 6. That would be beautiful. OKC Thunder done that maybe in like 2012, I believe, against the San Antonio Spurs. And they went on to the finals before they lost to the Miami Heat. This happens at times. Michael Jordan and the Bulls were down 0-2 against the Knicks in 92. Talk about 2 3-peats. They wouldn't even got the first 3-peat had they not came back from an 0-2 deficit. And they won 4 straight and beat the Knicks in 92. I don't know if the Knicks can do that. I just don't see it. And then Thibodeau makes these. What was that he did in game 3 where he made the he changed the starting lineup where he took Josh Hart out and he put what's his name? Mitchell Robinson in. And I didn't really understand it. I didn't know if that was going to help them or hurt them. I'm like, okay, so you're kind of going big, but the Pacers still kind of play small ball for the most part, but they can get away with it. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do tonight. I don't know. I can't wait to see. Cat usually doesn't have back-to-back good games like this. So with that being said, man, I'm going to have to roll with the Pacers. Look, the Pacers got up 2-0 on the Cleveland Cavs on the road, and they came back home, and they kind of laid an egg in that game 3. Cleveland snapped out. They made the series 2-1, and you thought, okay, the Cavs are going to get back in this thing. Evan Mobley is back. Darius Garland is back. No, it didn't matter. The Pacers said, we're putting an end to this shit. You're not tying the series up on our home floor, and we're not going back to Cleveland tied. No, they went up 3-1, and then they went back to Cleveland and finished them. And I think the Pacers do the same thing tonight. They go up 3-1. It'll be close. It'll be close. I think the Knicks could make this a game once again, make you think that they're going to tie it up like Minnesota did last night, and then a play here and there by either Halliburton or Neesmith or whatever. There's another guy with an N too. Need something. Those guys, man, underrated, and they be balling. They hoop. They come to play. And they got nothing to lose. They play with a chip on their shoulder. Everybody's like, our point guard's overrated. We can't beat these teams. We got lucky to play a banged-up Buck team, a banged-up Celtic team. I mean, not Celtics, but damn, who they got? The Cavaliers. These are the things that they're saying about the Pacers. Just total disrespect. And they're showing you how they feel about it with their play. I think the Knicks are going to go down 3-1 tonight. I would love to see this series get tied up. Don't get me wrong. Big body Brunson. I like it. But you can't tell me Brunson is going to be on the bench with 4 fouls again. You can't tell me that that's going to happen. And somehow they looked up and that actually worked in their favor. But what coach in their right mind is going to keep Brunson on the bench for a long period of time if they don't have to? The matchup's just not working. We'll see what Thibodeau does tonight with the lineup. But, yeah, I got the Pacers. I think they go up 3-1, and I think they end this series in the NBA Finals, which doesn't start till June 5th. Both of these teams, the Thunder and the Pacers, may get them a nice little couple of days off. A nice couple of days off. What is it right now? The 27th? So the finals start what? What would that be, like next Wednesday or next Thursday? Yeah. Sounds like that's next Thursday. This series is going to be over with. Minnesota and OKC, that'll be over with tomorrow if they play tomorrow. And then Thursday, if they continue to play every other day, this Knicks-Pacers series will be over. We're talking about a full 6 days rest before they play again. That's what it's looking like it's going to be. Okay, I got a few people in here. If you could hit the thumbs up for me, I would appreciate it. It does help me out here with the algorithm. Please don't just watch. Give me a thumbs up. And I would like for you to do that even if you ain't going to hang around and watch. I'll subscribe to plenty of YouTube channels and don't even watch it. But it's just, it's just a thing that I do. It costs me nothing to just hit the subscribe button or hit the thumbs up button. So if you would, please do that for me. I got 0 likes right now. It helps us out with the algorithm, and people can find us a lot better when you give us a thumbs up and you drop a comment. All right. That's all I got. I'm not going to waste too much more time. I don't really have anybody in here to hear me talk about Canelo and Crawford. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and do some work, get some gym work in or something, catch back up on some of that. I hope everybody had a great Memorial Day weekend. I'm gonna do some research a little bit more on a few other things on what I want to do later on this week. But I just wanted to come in here and talk about the Thunder and how phenomenal they are. I think it's time for us to just give them their flowers. If you fell asleep and didn't wake up for another 2 weeks, I think that you would fall asleep knowing that the Thunder are going to be the champions. And you could wake up 2 weeks later and they will be the champions, more than likely. I don't see them losing. Could Indiana beat them? It's a possibility. I would love to see the matchup, and I think we're going to get it. 2 small market teams in the NBA Finals. They're great players. They're a great team. They're well coached. Rick Carlisle over here. I don't know OKC's coach over there, but the general manager, Sam Presti, has been getting a lot of flack on how he has been very good at building teams, but he hadn't won anything yet as far as the championship goes. I think that's about to come to an end right now. I don't see them not winning this championship this year. I just don't. And shout out to the Thunder. They do it the right way, too. There's no big-time free agent on that team. There's no big acquisition that they acquired in a trade. This is all draft picks. They drafted Shit and Havenstein and Shea, and 6-7 years later, here we go. What is SGA in, like his 6th, 7th season? He's 26 years old. Chet Holmgren seems like he just got drafted yesterday. Watched him in college. It's good to see, though, how they do it. It's Dort. It's funny. I watched those guys in the Olympics last year, and I looked at the lineup, and I said, USA was playing. I don't even know if it was USA they were playing. No, it wasn't. It was somebody playing Canada. And I was amazed at how I saw SGA, Dylan Brooks, Lou Dort, and all of these players that were playing on the Canada team in the Olympics. And I said, wait a minute, these guys were born in Canada? They're not Canadian. Now, I think some of these parents were in the military and all of this stuff. We get it. But I looked at this squad and I can remember saying, hey, man, Canada kind of slick got a good squad. Now, 2 of those players that were on that squad play for the same team in the NBA here in America. And that's Dort and that's Alexander. And they're both going to the finals. Y'all got to give Dort more credit. This is what I like about Shea on how he can do interviews and he wants to do it with his teammates and not just by himself. I love the camaraderie, the brotherhood. I like it. I like it. There's nothing to hate about. Him getting to the free throw line so much at times, is it frustrating? Is it hard to watch? when he's not getting fouled, yes. But last night, we can't complain about that. He just made buckets. He just made buckets. And even when they did swarm him and they were about to block it or make him turn it over, he still would make the right pass. He still would make the right pass. He had a hand in his face as he was about to take a three, and literally he just so quickly made the right pass. That could have been a turnover, fast break, dunk. He made the right pass, and guess what? It was a three, and they made it. Could have been a turnover, a block shot. He turned it into a great assist. And then what was the other one where he slipped? He slid or whatever, which might have been a travel. But he was able to still get that pass as he was sliding. And that turned into points. Like, the brother's doing it, man. He's doing his thing. He's doing his thing. Can't say anything about it. It is what it is. He's that good. That team is that good. And you really can't really just, just be on Minnesota too hard, because they did not play the better. They played the better team. They were a number 6 seed team against the number 1 seed team. And they made them look like they were 6. Now, I know, 4 to 8, when it comes to those seedings, 4 to 8, they all were only like 2 or 3 games apart. And I don't know how far they were from the Thunder being a 6 seed, but we know OKC at number 1, they had a large gap with the number 2 seed. And can you believe at one point that was my Grizzlies? Man. Give the Denver Nuggets some credit. I know they lost, but they took this team 7 games. Nobody else is going to do it. The Nuggets took OKC to 7 games, and yeah, that 7th game turned out to be a blowout, but man, nobody else came close. My Grizzlies didn't even pinch their asses. They went home in 4 in a sweep, and if it wasn't for the 42-point win in Game 3 by Minnesota, they probably would have went home in a sweep. But they're going home in 5. And they're going to get a week rest after this. Shout out to the Thunder. Who do y'all like in the finals? Thunder or Pacers? I don't think the Knicks are going to, make the finals. I don't think. We will see. And if they do, I don't think they match up as well as the Pacers do. The Pacers have a little bit more size and length. They can run like OKC. They're young like OKC. The Knicks look tired right now against the Pacers. They look tired right now. So, even if the Knicks were to come back, tie this series, and go home and win a pivotal Game 5, I still don't like them against the Thunder. I just can't see it. And especially if Cat's going to be inconsistent. I just can't see it. All right, that's all I got. This has been the Great Debate Show. Aaron Rodgers, is he going to sign with the Steelers anytime soon here coming up? He's throwing hints and saying things, but there's also reports that he's waiting on the Vikings. And that's what I want to close with then. The Minnesota Vikings. I'll do Canelo Crawford tomorrow, man. Ain't nobody in here listening to me talk about Canelo Crawford. I'll do that tomorrow. There's a few things that I want to touch on, and I'm not a boxing expert at all. I get boxing fights wrong, but there's a lot of talk about Canelo and how he's gonna really, really hurt Crawford. And I gotta do some more research before I talk about that. I don't want to say the wrong thing and be wrong and be stupid and sound stupid. I probably sound stupid anyway, but at least I don't want to think that I'm saying some stupid stuff. So give me one more day. I'll wait till tomorrow to do Canelo and Crawford, mainly because, nobody's really in here. But I want to say this real quick about the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings yesterday, I listened to, I don't think it was the head coach either. It wasn't Kevin O'Connell. Maybe it was the general manager for the Minnesota Vikings. He was talking about the quarterback, J.J. McCarthy. Okay, they drafted him number 10 overall in the 2024 draft from the Michigan Wolverines. He played under Jim Harbaugh. He won a national championship, too, that year. He gets drafted into the NFL. He has a torn meniscus. He also tore his MCL or PCL or something like that. And, people started to question how serious is this knee injury. Yeah, serious enough for him to miss the entire rookie season. That's what he did. Sam Darnold took over, and Sam Darnold won 15 games, 14 games. 14 games in Minnesota. Sam Darnold done that, right? Now, again, that's Kevin O'Connell. That's Justin Jefferson. Addison, not a bad number 2 receiver. They end up bringing Aaron Jones in the backfield. At one point, they had a great offensive line. I know they did the first half of the season before they kind of start getting bit by the injury bug. I'm saying all of this to get. I'm getting to the point. I say all of that to say this. When they asked him about J.J. McCarthy on, I guess it was yesterday. I'm not sure. Let me see if I can get the right words that he said, because I don't want to misquote. I don't want to misquote the guy. I just found it interesting what he said, man. Just check me out for a minute. And I'm going to tell you what he didn't say versus what he said. Okay. J.J. McCarthy, this is the Vikings owner. I'm sorry, not the general manager. The Vikings owner said J.J. McCarthy has a gravitational pull as a leader. I'm going to say that again. The Vikings owner said J.J. McCarthy has a gravitational pull as a leader. What does that tell you? Anybody, please, in the comment section. What does that mean? What does that mean, ladies and gentlemen? According to, when you Google the word gravitational, it says that it's relating to movement toward a center of gravity. It's also denoting a forceful attraction or movement towards something. The gravitational field of the comet is very weak. It's the force that pulls two masses towards each other. Believe it or not, every single particular of matter in the universe exerts gravitation on every other particle. Guys, what I'm trying to say is, regardless of what the hell gravitational means, why in the fuck can't the Vikings owner just say he's our starter? He's our starting quarterback. I'm still waiting on the Vikings owner to say that. And you all wonder why Aaron Rodgers is not signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers yet? My co-host Terrence yesterday said that he thinks he's just waiting out the OTAs and all of that. Well, if you're going to skip OTAs like you always do, why not just skip out on training camp as well? You do that a lot too. And if you do that, you're hurting the Steelers. And if the Steelers allow that, why even bother with letting him come play? What is the contract going to look like since you missed all of this shit? Since you're going to treat September, the first quarter of the season, like it's preseason, meaning we will probably be already out of playoff contention by the time we get to October. What are we doing here? Why is Aaron Rodgers not signed with the Steelers yet? Probably because he's hearing something in Minnesota. Because I smell a rat. Why would the owner of the Vikings say that J.J. McCarthy has a gravitational pull as a leader? Okay, so are you ready to say he's a starter? I hear everything about J.J. McCarthy other than he's our starting quarterback. And J.J. McCarthy, a few months ago, before the draft, when we were talking about, hey, what are the Vikings going to do? What are this team going to do in the draft? Blah, blah, blah. Could J.J. McCarthy get traded somewhere else? Because they're fine with Sam Darnold. They moved on from Sam Darnold, so we're like, okay, they like McCarthy. They do have faith and confidence in their quarterback. He was a top 10 draft pick, which I didn't know at first. And I look back and I'm like, oh, well, if he was picked at top 10, number 10 to be exact, I can see why they're going to hold on to him. And they said we pass on Aaron Rodgers. We think that we bring in somebody like him. It kind of stalls the progression, the development of our quarterback, who's still raw, who's still a rookie, who missed his rookie campaign. That's what it tells me. But then we hear him in an interview and he says, well, they hadn't named me a starter yet, but I'm okay with that. I like it. I want to earn it. I want to work hard for it. I like everything JJ said. What I don't like is what his front office is not saying. When are you going to commit and say he's the starting quarterback? I mean, I think they finally did sign some type of backup to kind of show us that, okay, there looks like they're going to go with J.J. McCarthy. But it's almost like they still got Aaron Rodgers on hold. They're saying out loud, we're rolling with J.J., or we're not going to sign Aaron Rodgers, but they still haven't came out and said he's our starting quarterback. Who's going to take the first reps in OTAs? When does the Vikings OTAs start? I need to be looking that up, I guess. A lot of teams, 20 to be exact, started OTAs today. And I don't know if the Vikings is one of them or not, but I would like to find out who's going to be taking the first team snaps, who's going to be taking the second string snaps. If J.J. McCarthy is the guy, just say it. You don't have to say things like this, beating around the bush, saying that J.J. McCarthy has a gravitational pull as a leader. Is he your starter? I just wonder what you all think about that. I've put to bed Aaron Rodgers to Minnesota. I have. I know I fought that for a while. But they came out and said we straight. But Aaron Rodgers still hasn't signed. So I really probably should be waking that motherfucker back up, because it seems like it still could be a chance that Aaron Rodgers could end up somewhere else other than Pittsburgh. One, because he ain't signed yet. And two, because the Vikings are not coming out saying he's their starting quarterback. Magic Johnson in the building says Pacers in 7. Nah, I would probably say 6. But I've really been saying 5. I think tonight you'll know that series is over. The Pacers just watched what the Thunder did last night, even though they were on the road and the Pacers are going to be at home, which should make it easier for the Pacers to do what the Thunder did last night. And that's not let them tie the series. But I feel you, man. Pacers in 7. As long as the Pacers win, right? I think both teams in it in 5, and they're going to get a nice little rest for before June 5th when they tip off the NBA Finals. But back to the Vikings. I'm waiting on you all to name J.J. McCarthy your starting quarterback. Until you do that, I'm not going to sit here and say that they're not signing Aaron Rodgers, because they ain't done it yet. Doesn't mean like they won't. Don't mean like they won't do it, because Aaron Rodgers is still a free agent, telling people that I don't owe anybody anything. I'm not committed to anyone. He's still out there talking as if he's a single guy, doing his bio on some dating app. He's single, ready to mingle, and he ain't committed to nobody. That's what he's still saying pretty much. He's throwing hints that he'll be a Steeler, but why not just sign with the Steelers? Do you really hate OTAs that bad? Do you hate training camp that damn bad? The last few times we saw you on a football field, brother, you need some more OTAs. You need some training camp in your life. You're going to see the Pacers in the finals too, Magic. You're going to. He says, I love seeing the Pacers in the finals. You're going to, I believe. And I think you'll know that for certain after tonight. But yeah, I just wanted to just talk real quick about what the Vikings owner said yesterday. He said his quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, has a gravitational pull as a leader. He has a gravitational pull as a leader. What the fuck does that mean? Does that mean he's the starter? Because I hear everything but that. And Aaron Rodgers still hasn't signed with the Steelers. So that report that I saw yesterday saying that Aaron Rodgers is still waiting out the Vikings, and I think he was waiting to see where the 49ers are going to pay Brock Purdy too. But we did. I'm telling y'all, I smell a rat. Yep, a blonde rat from Northern California. Yeah. No, Aaron Rodgers is not a blonde, is he? Whatever. You know what the hell I mean. I'm talking about Aaron Rodgers. And I think that he really, really, really doesn't want to go to Pittsburgh. That's going to be his last option. And I think he may be waiting until like Labor Day before he finally says, all right, give me the damn contract. I'll sign this shit. I don't know. Somebody could get injured in some of these OTAs or training camp in a few months. He ain't. It's like he doesn't want that. If he signs now with Pittsburgh, he's afraid something's going to happen immediately after and he's screwed. And he missed out on a better opportunity. That's what it looks like to me. That's what it looks like to me. Yep. Okay, so tomorrow we'll do two different things. I don't think it'll be much to talk about after the Pacers win tonight. So I'll quickly come in here and say Pacers Thunder, NBA Finals. They're both up 3-1. They're going to end it. They're going to finish it. That's what we're going to get. That won't take me but about 3 minutes. Then I can go right into Canelo Crawford. And after that, I think I'll do my the best decade ever. What is the greatest decade of all time when it comes to sports, movies, music genres, TV sitcoms, and all of that? What was the best? Cost of living, gas prices, the economy, whatever you want to talk about in that decade. What made that decade so much better than any other? And I think that the 70s, I think that the 90s, and I think that the 2000s will probably be the top three where we can debate at in a triple threat match. But there's a lot of people that also say, hey, you got the 80s fucked up. What would you say? Let me know in the comments how you would kind of go with that. I'll do those two tomorrow because I don't think it's going to be much to talk about when it comes down to the Pacers and the Knicks. If the Knicks win, different story. Depending on how, the audience is during the live stream, if we have more people in here, and if there's more to talk about, more stuff to unwrap, then we may not be able to get both of those out. But I think tomorrow's both segments will be Canelo Crawford, which I won't be long on because I'm not a boxing analyst at all. But I do like a good boxing bout when I think I see one, and I'm going to be there for it. And so I want to talk about it. And I don't know why people aren't talking about it enough. This is supposed to be some mega fight. So I'll come in. Magic said 80s, really? Well, I mean, some people I said. I'm not one of them, but yeah. Some people love the 80s too, man. How well do you think Ashton Genty will do in his rookie year? I think he's going to win Offensive Rookie for sure. He probably will. He probably will. And I think that he's going to be so good. Oh, I think PFF thinks he's going to be so good, Magic. Remember yesterday we were doing the top 20 quarterbacks for 2025, according to PFF? And I started from 20 to 1. And Geno Smith, surprisingly, was number 10. And we were like, me and Terrence was here like, why? Go pull that episode up. All of these episodes are mainly under the live column because I do all of these live streams for the most part till I can get more subs, and then I can start just uploading videos, and I know you all will see it and catch it, but I need more people to hit that notification bell, hit that sub, hit that subscribe button, and that thumbs up, which I still only have one person that's hit it. Come on, y'all. How can you watch something that you like and not hit the like button to keep them, to keep them on here to give you the content that you like, if you like it. If you don't like it, why are you here? Give me the thumbs up, please. It helps us out in the algorithm. But Magic, yeah, man, I think that when they said Geno Smith was going to be number 10 in 2025, I think that's their way of saying that him being a great play-action quarterback, system quarterback or not, he's real good off of play-action. He's back under Pete Carroll, and I think they think Genty's going to be so good his rookie year, it's going to make Geno look so much better than what he really is. But I don't know who he's throwing the ball to, like we said yesterday, so... But I do agree with you. Genty very well could be Offensive Rookie of the Year. Pete Carroll's definitely going to give him the rock. 90s for sports especially, baseball. 90s probably, period. But let me be quiet because I don't want to give y'all my take yet. But, man, you're going to have to come with it if you fucking with the 90s. You're going to have to come with it. That's what I'm going to do tomorrow, man. We'll do it. Share this episode with some of your friends, family, loved ones, or whatever that like sports and sports contents like this. I'm debating this. I debate it with anybody that wants to come in here and debate it with me as well. But please, yeah, hit that like button. Leave a comment. Tell me, what do you think? Who you got? 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s? Do you think today, the 20s, give them a chance? The 10s? What do you think about the 10s? I don't know. Tell me what you think. And I'm also going to talk about Canelo Crawford to start the show tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. All right? That's noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. All right? We're going to get it. We're going to get up out of here. I hope you all have a great Tuesday, a terrific Tuesday. And 70s is better than okay, man. 70s is better than okay. One thing I'm gonna like about this is we're gonna find out how old everybody is too, or how young some of us are when we do this. All right, I know Magic's kind of young to say 70s is okay. He ain't old. He can't be, because anybody 50 or over 50, they ain't putting nothing over the 70s. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what you drinking on, what you smoking on, you got a nice lady, you got Earth, Wind, and Fire in the background, or you got the Shy Lights, or you got the Stylistics. I mean, shit, some Marvin Gaye. Come on now. I don't know about that. It just depends on what part are you talking about in the 70s. TV was fire in the 70s too. All right, we're going to talk about it tomorrow, man. Same bat time, same bat channel. Until we yeet again. Y'all be safe out there. Peace. Oh, and let me know if you want some more wrestling content. I know I didn't do Raw last night. Me and Terrence did not come back for the Raw show. These shows have been long and boring. I'm not going to lie. I had a lot going on this weekend with my daughter graduating and all of that. I apologize. But if you want the wrestling episodes, let me know in the comment section. I don't want to hear anybody say, oh, man, what happened to the wrestling shows? What happened to the SmackDown post show? Why are you not recapping Raw? I'm asking you to let me know if you like those episodes. If you do, we'll provide it. We'll continue to do that on a weekly basis. But if nobody's gonna be in here and nobody's gonna say it, we ain't gonna do it. Okay? All right. Some people putting nothing over the 80s, especially if you 40-ish. Well, see, I am 40-ish, and I was born in the 80s, but that doesn't make me an 80s baby. You know, Jay-Z says all the time he's an 80s baby. And he was born in like 68, 69. So it's about when, you know, you started to, you know, the adolescent years, but it's your, I don't know what you would like to call it, when you're about to get into your prime of your life, when you're about to become a man, adulthood, you know, experiencing a lot of things in life where you either came up, it was your breakthrough, career-wise, money, whatever. And I'm a 90s baby. I'm not an 80s baby, and I was born in the 80s. So, yeah, I'm not saying the 80s. I think the 80s was the worst, to be honest with you. Everything about the 80s was like, yeah, I was born in the 80s. But, yeah, I don't even know much about the 80s because I was too damn little to remember it. But the 90s, oh, man, the 90s and the 2000s, that's my time right there. And I'm not just saying it because that's my era. Just looking back now, it looks like it was the shit. Yep. But, yeah, we'll do that tomorrow, man. And Canelo Crawford, who y'all got? Let me know in the comment section. We'll debate it tomorrow. Until then, this man said I am 19. LOL. I can believe that. You gotta be, Magic Johnson. With the, are you an Orioles fan? They look like Baltimore Orioles with your photo right there. 19. Damn, that must be nice, brother. Must be nice. Whew. 19. That's good. He said I disagree. We'll debate it. Whatever it is that you disagree with, we'll debate it tomorrow. But I got to get out of here and pay some bills. Until we eat again, y'all be safe out there, man. Peace.